October 26th, 2016. The Cubs were up 5-0 in the bottom of the fifth, but Bud Sullivan knew better than to relax. They'd been creamed the night before, completely wiped out, and he knew it could happen again. It was the Cubs. Anything could happen, and it usually did. He was watching the game at Sullivan's because that was one of the perks of owning a restaurant. He sat on his lucky bar stool, even though, as his wife Rose pointed out, it hadn't been lucky the night before. Still, he was afraid to change things up. Superstition was a tricky business. He was surrounded by regulars, these people who he'd watched hundreds of Cubs games with. "This is our year," they said to one another. "This is our year." The waitstaff kept pausing in the middle of their work, holding plates in the air or glasses of water, frozen as they watched a pitch or two, cheering when it went their way, groaning when it didn't. Bud was trying to enjoy himself, but something was off. The mood was askew. Maybe he'd stayed up too late the night before, overexcited for the first game of the World Series. Maybe he'd had one too many beers. Maybe it was just the unfamiliar experience of watching the Cubs in October. Maybe it was the fall weather, the dread of the approaching Chicago winter. Or maybe it was the election, that awful man all over the news, snarling and stirring up the worst parts of everyone. Bud felt something bad coming. Felt it in his bones, like predicting a rainstorm with an aching knee. He'd talked to his granddaughter Gretchen in New York earlier that day, and she'd told him she didn't think he should worry about the election. "There's no way," she said. "People are smarter than that." She had the dumb sense that comes with youth that things would always move forward, that people would continue to get better. He didn't know how to tell her this wasn't the case, but it didn't matter. She had to see it for herself. He didn't know if he could handle it if the Cubs lost again. "Wait until next year," is what he always said, but he was getting tired of waiting. He'd waited so long for this. He had been waiting his entire life, praying for it to happen. Were you allowed to pray for baseball games? If not, Bud had been breaking the rules for years. Bud tried not to wish for too many things. He wasn't greedy, but he so badly wanted the Cubs to win the World Series. Everyone had one fool's errand in life. He watched the Cubs chug along from inning to inning, mostly just waiting for the game to be over. His chest felt tight, and he willed the Cubs to end the inning. The Cubs! His Cubs would be the death of him. The Cubs caught the third out and ended the seventh inning. He smiled and clapped with everyone else and tried to remember to breathe. 2 more innings to go. Someone opened the front door to the restaurant, and a cool breeze came through. Bud felt then, just for a minute, full of optimism. There was no real reason, other than the beautiful catch, the smell of fall, the thrill of baseball in October. He really did believe that this was their year.